You tell me, just by telling the world He's risen, you think the world is going to believe? No one's going to believe. The world will not believe when you tell them He's risen. The world will only believe when you show them that He is risen. Saturday evening. Remember this first line, okay? Remember it? Say Saturday. Because everyone forgets Saturday. Saturday evening, when Sabbath ended, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome, call her whatever you want to, went out and purchased salami. No, she purchased burial spices so that they could anoint Jesus' body. Right? Very early on Sunday morning, here comes the Sunday, just at sunrise, they went to the tomb. And on the way, they were asking each other, who will roll the stone away for us from the entrance of the tomb? They had to prepare these spices. So they spent Saturday night preparing spices. Right? Whole Saturday night. Then Sunday morning, they got up. Full confidence. They said their prayers because they are women. They pray early in the morning. And they stepped out, walking towards the tomb with the spices that they prepared all night. Stayed up all night, right? With the bags of spices. And while they're walking to the tomb, they asked this question. Who will roll away the stone for us? Now you want to ask this question? Right? On the way to the tomb with those bags, who will roll? You should have asked this question before you left the house. See how stupid? You should have asked this question before you spend your Saturday night preparing spices with that ragda. You should have asked this question before you spend all that money buying the spices. You see how stupid? They bought the spice, forgot about the stone. They prepared for the spices, but did not plan about the stone. What's the use of the spices when there's a stone in the way? You see how stupid? Right, Sunil? So maybe, Sunil, the men stayed at home because of the stone. Maybe, Sting? No, Sting, you're not married. Sherwin? Maybe the men were not scared, the men were smart. Right? Yes, he's doing like this. The men was like, what's the use of going to the tomb when there's a stone in the way? Right, all the men? But it's just like the question that you ask. What's the use of applying for that job when there are so many better candidates in the way? What's the use of starting that business when there is so many competitors in the way? What's the use of writing a song when there are so many talented songwriters in the way? What's the use of doing anything in this country when there is so much corruption in the way? What's the use of believing when there are so many blocks in the way? That's why you don't believe. That is what is keeping you from taking steps of faith. Because you're focusing on the stone. Because you're thinking about the stone. So it's the stone that is keeping you at home. It is the limitation that is keeping you locked in your house in fear and unbelief. It is the difficulties that are keeping you in doubt. That's why you don't believe. And that's why every Easter, every Resurrection Sunday, I just have to praise the women. I have to. And I'm making a U-turn now. All right, I'm going back to the women. The women are really the heroes. They really are. Because the women have to be praised for the rest of eternity. These three women, they have to. Because let me tell you about the women. Even though there was a stone in the way, they prepared the spices anyway. Even though there was a stone in the way, they went to the tomb anyway. Even though there was a stone in the way, they walked by faith anyway. And this is how believers have to be like. The women are the role model of believers. Believers believe anyway. It doesn't matter if there's a stone in the way. It doesn't matter if there's a storm in the way. It doesn't matter if there's sickness in the way. It doesn't matter if there's Satan in the way. Believers believe anyway. I don't know about you, but I don't care who hates me. I don't care who talks against me. I don't care who's coming against me. I don't care about the stones, the storms in the way. I am going to believe anyway. That is what I'm inviting you to be. A believer where you believe. That's the message of resurrection. Because when you believe anyway, this is what you see. As they arrive, they did not plan, Sunil. They did not do anything. They did not think about the stone. They just believed anyway. They went to the tomb anyway. And when they looked up, they saw the stone, which was very large. The sickness, very devastating. The problem, very big, had already so if the stone has already been rolled away, then by his stripes you are already healed. Then through his poverty you are already rich. Everything is already possible for you. This is the message of resurrection. Okay? Now go tell his disciples, including Peter. Are you a disciple of Jesus?
Yes. Yes.
Following Jesus?
Yes.
Love Jesus?
Yes.
Going to do what he says?
Yes.
This is the message of resurrection. Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. The issue in Christianity today is that we are focused so much on this idea of his presence. Right? That people only believe when they feel his presence. Oh, I want to feel his presence. I want to, oh, the goosebumps, oh, the shaking, oh, the tears, the gold dust and the feathers, oh, the presence. Right? And we've put so much emphasis on the presence that when you do that, your life looks like a live match. And if you've ever watched a live match, then you don't know what's going to happen next. That's why you get so nervous. Even though you pray so much, even though you worship so much, even though you worship for hours, those continuous hours of worship, oh Lord, the presence and the flags and all of that, even though you do all of that, you're still nervous. You still need to roll the joint. You still need to go to the bottle. You still don't know what's going to happen next. Because you're so focused on the presence and on the present that your life is like a live match. But your life with Jesus is not like a live match. He's present. Yes, he's with you. But what he's done for you is already finished. His work is already finished. So your life with Jesus is not like a live match. Your life with Jesus is like a replay of a match that has already been won. And you sit with him and you read the word and you watch a match that has already been won. Because Jesus has finished it. He has gone ahead of you. He has already done it. And that's the problem. That's why Christianity is not effective today. That's why the world doesn't believe us. Because we're doing the same things every year. The same Easter programs every year. The same skits every year. The same music concerts every year. The same worship events every year. The same message. The same noise. If it's Christmas, Jesus is the reason for the season. If it's Easter, he is risen. And we are only making this noise. And the world doesn't believe. You tell me, You tell me, just by telling the world He's risen, you think the world is going to believe that He's risen? Huh? I tell you. In fact, the more you tell the world He's risen, they will not believe. Right? They'll not believe. Forget about the world. Even the disciples did not believe when they told Him He is risen. You think unbelievers are going to believe? But you say, He's risen, He's risen, He's risen, He's risen. Yeah, high five, brother. No one's going to believe. The world will not believe when you tell them He's risen. The world will only believe when you show them that He is risen. The world will only believe that He is risen when they see you rise. When they see you rise above your life, when they see you prosper in life, when they see you succeed in life, when they see you being fruitful and multiply, the world will see and know that He's risen when they see you doing the same things that Jesus did. Then they'll know that He is risen. Then they'll know. It's not about He is risen. It's about you rising. Resurrection Sunday is not about Jesus' resurrection. Resurrection Sunday is about you rising. It's your resurrection today. It's time for the church to rise. This is the message of heaven, right? Now go and tell His disciples, including Peter, that Jesus is going ahead of you to... Come on, last 5 minutes. And you will see Him there. So, heaven was telling His disciples to go to Galilee. That's the message. Huh, Sarah? It's not He is risen, but go to Galilee. Not go to Margaon, but go to Galilee. Okay? But why Galilee? Why not Nazareth? Right? Because Nazareth was where Jesus was from, where He grew up. His family was from Nazareth. Nazareth is the place of family. Nazareth is the place of relationships. And we love family. We love community. We love relationships, right? But Nazareth is also the place of unbelief. That's why not Nazareth. But why not Bethlehem? Because Jesus was born in Bethlehem. You go back to where you started. Right? Bethlehem is the place of His birth. Why Galilee? What happened in Galilee? Faith happened in Galilee. Nazareth was the place of family. Bethlehem was the place of birth. Galilee was the place of faith. Galilee was where Jesus walked on the water. Galilee was where Jesus calmed the storm. Galilee where Jesus removed evil spirits from people. Galilee was where Jesus called money in the mouth of a fish. Galilee was the place of faith. Galilee was, and check this out, the message of heaven to the church on the Resurrection Sunday was go back to the place of faith. And the message of resurrection on Resurrection Sunday 2023 to you is go back to the place of faith. It's a call to go back to Galilee. Please, let's go back to the place of faith. Let's go back to that place of walking on water. Let's go back to that place of calming storms. Let's go back to that place of believing that all things are possible. Let's go back to that place of blessings. Let's go back to that sermon series. Let's believe again. Let's have faith again. Let's go back to Galilee. Let me take you to Galilee. You coming? Anyone wants to come? Any believers in the house? You want to believe again? Can we all stand?